Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows a clear upward trend. The price has consistently broken through resistance levels, and the forecast for the next week indicates continued upward movement. The RSI has fluctuated but generally trended upwards, indicating strengthening momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, suggesting increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $122,300. Given the recent upward momentum and the forecast, a conservative stop loss should be placed just below the recent support level at $121,500. The initial target price will be set at $124,000, aligning with the forecast and recent resistance levels. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to our position at $122,700. Conversely, if the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, suggesting an overbought condition, we will consider taking partial profits at $123,000. This dynamic approach allows us to capitalize on short-term fluctuations while maintaining the overall long-term bullish outlook. The final target price will be $124,600, coinciding with the highest recent resistance level. This portfolio combines the trend-following strategy with RSI and Bollinger Band signals to optimize returns and manage risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a generally upward trend, though with some volatility. The RSI consistently dipped below 30 in the early period, indicating an oversold condition. The forecast suggests continued upward movement, with prices hovering around $4,500. Considering the RSI and Bollinger Bands, I propose a combined strategy. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 30, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated rebound. A specific entry point would be $4,450, with a stop loss set at $3,880 to mitigate potential losses if the downtrend persists. The initial target price will be $4,580, aligning with the recent resistance level and the forecast. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate Bollinger Bands for additional confirmation. If the price touches the lower band of the Bollinger Bands, which is around $3,880, it further reinforces the oversold condition, strengthening our conviction to enter the trade. If the price reaches the target price of $4,580, we will consider a partial profit taking and move the stop loss to the recent support level of $4,480 to secure gains. If the price continues to rise, we can set a secondary target price of $4,680. This blended approach, combining RSI and Bollinger Bands, offers a balanced risk-reward profile, aiming for high returns while managing potential downside risks. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a strong uptrend. The price has consistently broken through resistance levels, and the forecast indicates further upward movement. The RSI consistently above 50 suggests a bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, indicating increased volatility and a potential for further price swings. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy with a focus on capitalizing on the anticipated upward trend. Entry price will be $1,270, with a stop loss placed at $1,220 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price is set at $1,400, aiming to capture a significant portion of the forecasted upward movement. To refine the strategy, I will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, consider a partial entry at $1,150, setting a stop loss at $1,100 and a target at $1,250 to profit from a potential oversold bounce. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking partial profits and adjusting the stop loss higher. The final target price is $1,470, reflecting the upper end of the forecast range. This layered approach allows for maximizing profits while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a slight upward trend, bouncing around the support price of $2.86. The RSI consistently fluctuates, but generally remains within the range of 38 to 57, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show the price has been near the upper band for a while, suggesting a potential pullback is possible. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position when the price dips towards the support level of $2.86, coinciding with a potential RSI oversold signal. The stop loss will be set slightly below the support at $2.84 to protect against unexpected drops. The initial target price will be the recent resistance level of $3.04, offering a reasonable profit. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks below the lower Bollinger Band, indicating a stronger downward movement, we will exit the position earlier. Conversely, if the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, we can consider adjusting the target price to $3.10. This combined strategy, blending RSI and Bollinger Band signals with support and resistance levels, offers a balanced approach to capitalize on the potential upward trend while managing risk effectively. The portfolio will be 60% long XRP at $2.86 with a stop loss at $2.84 and a target price of $3.04, and 40% in cash. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows a generally upward trend, although with some volatility. The RSI consistently stays below 80, indicating that the asset is not overbought. The price has been fluctuating between a support of $203 and a resistance of $233. Considering the current RSI of 54.3 and the forecast prices, I propose a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $223. The stop loss will be set at $218, just below the recent support level, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $233, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price is currently near the center band, suggesting a potential upward movement. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band of $247, we can raise the target price to $250. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band of $194, the RSI will be in oversold territory, and we can consider a short-term trade. This dynamic adjustment based on Bollinger Bands will help maximize profits while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently approaching overbought territory, fluctuating between 50 and 60. Considering the support price of $0.242 and resistance of $0.267, and the forecast predicting prices around $0.26, a moderately bullish strategy is warranted. I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.256. A stop loss should be placed just below the support level at $0.242 to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be set at the resistance level of $0.267, aiming for a quick profit. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price consistently moves within the bands, suggesting periods of volatility and consolidation. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, it signals a potential pullback. Therefore, if the price reaches $0.262, consider taking partial profits and tightening the stop loss to $0.255. If the price breaks above $0.267, a second target price of $0.275 can be considered. This combined strategy, utilizing RSI, support/resistance, and Bollinger Bands, aims to capitalize on the upward trend while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows a slight upward trend, bouncing between support and resistance levels. The RSI fluctuates, but generally stays above the oversold level of 20, indicating a neutral to slightly bullish sentiment. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility, with prices occasionally touching the upper and lower bands. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy focused on capitalizing on short-term pullbacks while respecting the overall upward trend. We will employ a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band signals for optimal entry and exit points. Specifically, I recommend a long position when the RSI dips below 40 near the support level of $0.338. For example, if the RSI reaches 38 near $0.338, enter a long position at $0.339. Place a stop-loss order at $0.336 to limit potential losses. Set a target price at $0.346, coinciding with the upper Bollinger Band and a reasonable profit margin. If the RSI reaches above 80, take a profit at $0.345. This strategy aims to capture gains from short-term bounces while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement. This combined approach leverages both momentum and volatility indicators for a balanced and potentially high-return investment. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano demonstrates an upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates, indicating periods of both overbought and oversold conditions. Considering the support price of $0.802 and the recent upward momentum, a long position strategy is recommended. We will initiate a buy order at $0.831. To mitigate potential losses, a stop-loss order will be placed at $0.802, just below the established support level. The initial target price will be set at $0.873, aligning with the recent resistance level. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. When the price touches the lower band, it signals a potential oversold condition, reinforcing our buy signal. Conversely, when the price approaches the upper band, it suggests a potential overbought condition, prompting us to consider taking profits or adjusting the target price. If the price reaches $0.845, we will move the stop-loss to $0.835 to secure profits. If the price fails to reach $0.873 and shows signs of reversal, we will exit the position and reevaluate the market conditions. This dynamic approach combines RSI and Bollinger Bands for a more robust and adaptive investment strategy. Based on the historical data and forecast, Wrapped Beacon ETH shows a clear uptrend with consistent price increases. The RSI consistently fluctuated between 30 and 64, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have widened, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price swings. Given the current RSI of 55.6 and the forecast predicting prices around 4,800 to 4,930, I recommend a long position. Entry price should be $4,800, with a stop-loss set at $4,750 to limit potential losses. The initial target price is $4,930, aiming to capitalize on the short-term upward momentum. To refine the strategy, I'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band, around $4,190, it signals an oversold condition, providing an opportunity to enter a long position at $4,200 with a stop-loss at $4,150 and a target price of $4,300. Conversely, if the price reaches the upper band, around $5,120, it indicates an overbought scenario, prompting a short position at $5,050 with a stop-loss at $5,150 and a target price of $4,950. Combining these approaches, the most efficient portfolio would involve a long position at $4,800 with a stop-loss at $4,750 and a target price of $4,930, adjusted based on Bollinger Band signals for enhanced risk management. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink demonstrates an overall upward trend, supported by consistent support around $21.9 and resistance near $23.3. The RSI consistently fluctuates between 34.7 and 56.3, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been trending within the bands, suggesting continued volatility. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Band signals. We will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, on October 15, 2025 Wednesday, the forecast price is $22.2, the RSI is 51.1, and the lower Bollinger Band is $19.8. We will enter a long position at $20, placing a stop-loss at $19.5 to limit potential losses. The initial target price is $23.3, aligning with the resistance level. If the price reaches $23.3, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $20 to secure profits and protect against a potential reversal. A secondary target price will be set at $24.5, based on the historical upper Bollinger Band. This combined strategy aims to capitalize on the upward trend while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placements and profit-taking targets. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows a generally upward trend, although with some volatility. The RSI consistently stays below 80, indicating that the asset is not overbought. The price has been fluctuating between a support of $203 and a resistance of $233. Considering the current RSI of 54.3 and the forecast prices, I propose a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $223. The stop loss will be set at $218, just below the recent support level, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $233, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price is currently near the center band, suggesting a potential upward movement. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band of $247, we can raise the target price to $250. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band of $194, the RSI will be in oversold territory, and we can consider a short-term trade. This dynamic adjustment based on Bollinger Bands will help maximize profits while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, ApeCoin shows a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates between 33.1 and 54.0, indicating oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of low volatility, and the price is nearing the upper band. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.562. The stop loss should be placed slightly below the support level at $0.554, setting it at $0.550 to account for potential minor dips. The initial target price should be set at $0.577, aligning with the forecast price for October 15, 2025. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI falls below 33, indicating an oversold condition, we will hold the position. If the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, it signals a potential bounce, reinforcing the long position. If the price reaches $0.577, we will take partial profits and move the stop loss to the entry price of $0.562 to secure gains. If the price breaks above the resistance level of $0.601, we will consider raising the target price to $0.620. This blended approach combines trend analysis, technical indicators, and price action for a high probability, high return investment. Based on the historical data and forecast, Virtual's protocol shows a fluctuating trend with support at $1.08 and resistance at $1.17. The RSI indicator fluctuates between 35.3 and 52.3, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been oscillating within the bands, with occasional touches of the upper and lower limits. Considering the recent upward trend and the forecast prices, I recommend a long position strategy. The RSI is currently below 50, suggesting a potential for upward movement. Entry price will be $1.08, with a stop loss set at $1.07 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $1.17, aligning with the resistance level. To refine the strategy, I will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. When the price touches the lower band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. The forecast indicates a price above $1.1 for the next week. Therefore, I propose a tiered target strategy. The first target is $1.11, followed by $1.13, and finally $1.17. This approach allows for capitalizing on intermediate price movements while maintaining a long-term bullish outlook. The final portfolio will be 70% long position, 20% waiting for the price to touch the lower Bollinger Band, and 10% waiting for the price to reach the first target. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethena has shown volatility with a general downtrend in the recent forecast period. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the middle range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the price has tested the support level of $0.567 repeatedly, suggesting a potential bounce. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price is currently near the lower band, which could signal a potential rebound. Therefore, I propose a moderately bullish strategy focusing on short-term gains. My strategy involves entering a long position when the price touches the support level of $0.567. The stop loss should be set just below the support at $0.56 to mitigate potential losses if the price breaks down further. The initial target price will be the nearest resistance level of $0.617, offering a potential gain of $0.05. If the price reaches the target, we can reassess the situation and potentially extend the target to $0.63. The RSI is currently around 43.6, which is not in the oversold zone, so we need to be cautious. This strategy combines support and resistance levels with Bollinger Bands analysis for a balanced approach, aiming for a quick profit with limited risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Worldcoin demonstrates a fluctuating trend with a general upward bias. The price has consistently bounced off the support level of $1.24 and tested the resistance at $1.34. The RSI readings, generally between 42 and 51, indicate that the asset is neither significantly oversold nor overbought. Considering the forecast for the next week, which predicts prices hovering around $1.33 to $1.34, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $1.31, placing a stop-loss order at $1.27 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $1.37, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated upward movement within the recent trading range. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. When the price touches the lower band, around $1.14 to $1.16, it suggests a potential buying opportunity. However, given the current price and forecast, we'll stick with our primary strategy. If the price reaches $1.37, we'll consider moving the stop-loss to break even to secure profits. If the price continues to rise, we can set a secondary target at $1.4. This combined approach leverages both RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Conflux shows a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently remains below the 50 mark, indicating a potential undervaluation. The Bollinger Bands have been fluctuating, with the price occasionally touching the lower band, suggesting oversold conditions. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.139, coinciding with a recent dip and a potential bounce. To mitigate risk, we will set a stop-loss at $0.137, just below the recent low. Our target price will be $0.15, aligning with the resistance level and providing a reasonable profit margin. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band, it strengthens the case for a long position. The forecast for the next week suggests a price range between $0.139 and $0.145. Therefore, we will adjust the target price to $0.148, slightly below the resistance, to ensure a more conservative profit-taking approach. This strategy combines RSI and Bollinger Bands to identify potential entry points and manage risk effectively, aiming for high returns while minimizing potential losses. Based on the historical data and forecast, Pudgy Penguins demonstrates a slight upward trend with price fluctuations. The RSI consistently stays below 80, indicating that the asset is not overbought. The most recent RSI values hover around 53, suggesting a mild bullish momentum. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price has been oscillating within the bands, recently approaching the lower band. The forecast prices are slightly above the recent close, indicating a potential short-term upward movement. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. I suggest entering a long position at $0.0312. The stop-loss should be set at $0.0303, just below the support price, to limit potential losses. The first target price is $0.0324, aligning with the forecast price for October 15, 2025. If the price reaches this target, consider taking partial profits. A second, more ambitious target price is $0.0328, near the recent resistance level. This strategy combines RSI and Bollinger Band signals with support and resistance levels to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, SUN token exhibits a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the 50 mark, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been oscillating within a range, with the lower band providing support and the upper band acting as resistance. Considering these factors, a combined strategy incorporating RSI and Bollinger Bands is recommended. We will implement a strategy that leverages the forecast data and recent price action. The entry price for a long position will be $0.0253. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $0.0248. The initial target price will be $0.0279, aligning with the forecast and upper Bollinger Band. If the price reaches the initial target, we will consider moving the stop loss to the entry price to protect profits and potentially allow for further gains. This approach balances risk and reward, capitalizing on the predicted upward momentum while mitigating potential losses. The RSI reading of 58.0 on October 8, 2025, suggests a slight overbought condition, so a cautious approach with tight stop loss is warranted. Based on the historical data and forecast, FR has shown considerable volatility. The RSI consistently remained below 30 until October 8, indicating an oversold condition. The Bollinger Bands also suggest periods of contraction and expansion, reflecting price fluctuations. The forecast for the next week indicates a sideways movement, with prices fluctuating between $1.04 and $1.08. Considering these factors, I recommend a strategy that capitalizes on potential upward movements while mitigating risk. My strategy involves a long position with an entry price of $1.04 on October 9, 2025. Given the oversold RSI and the potential for a bounce, this entry point offers a favorable risk-reward ratio. A stop loss should be placed at $1.02 to protect against a potential downward reversal. The target price is set at $1.08, aligning with the upper end of the forecast range and a reasonable profit target. This strategy combines RSI signals, Bollinger Band analysis, and forecast data to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash shows a strong upward trend. The price has consistently broken through resistance levels, and the forecast for the next week indicates continued growth. The RSI consistently exceeds 70, indicating overbought conditions, but the strong upward momentum suggests this is not a cause for immediate concern. The Bollinger Bands have widened significantly, confirming the volatility and potential for further price increases. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price will be $146, coinciding with the beginning of the forecast period. The stop loss will be set at $142, providing a buffer against potential short-term pullbacks. The initial target price is $157, aligning with the forecast for October 10 and the upper Bollinger Band. If the price reaches $157, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $146 to secure profits. The final target price will be $170, based on the forecast for October 15. This strategy combines trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Band dynamics to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively.